At the end of the day, merch costs money, selling it costs money, driving costs money, vehicles cost money, flights cost money. Whoever you bring with you costs money every day. I believe that God puts music in our life to help us, just like the enemy can lure us with music. Man, you gotta be honest with yourself about how many people you can put in a venue. A lot of times what happens is artists overshoot their value. The biggest thing that gets people in trouble is going viral because you're getting a lot of attention and a lot of likes. You putting up a picture of a whole bunch of kids holding glow sticks on your Spotify page, look at the audience. They're not even really looking at you. Don't put that up. It doesn't look good.
This is James Rosseau, a.k.a. Trig, and let me welcome you to the Corling Solutions Show. All right, y'all, we're back for another episode of the Inside View. It's Doc Watson and Trig. And if you don't know us, I'm the CEO of Holy Culture, and my man Doc Watson is the co-CEO of Reflection Music Group.
What up?
Which houses such artists as Derek Minor, Brino, Don Reddy, Marty, D1, Cannon, 350, Tori Deshawn, V. Rose, Paris, Cariz, to name a few. I always say the better question is, who does he not support?
A lot.
So, you know, one of the things that jumps out to me is whenever you look at like P&Ls for artists or their percentages of income, sometimes, well, let me say it this way. Sometimes vanity metrics lead, right? In terms of likes and views and subscribers and whatnot. But when it really comes down to income, man, streaming is hard money to get. And still seems like it's about 50% of artists' income, but a third nearly is touring and events. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to focus on that a little bit, man. And you are an events guy. Doc Watson holds some of the best events at South by Southwest. The last 2-3 years, at the GMA during the Dove Weeks, you had you orchestrated the CHH. What do we call it? Future
Legends.
Future
Legacy.
Future Legacy.
I got my own name wrong.
Yeah, and even before Christian hip hop, Doc Watson was in radio and helping with events and whatnot. So let me say this to the artist that wants to tour. What's the very first step in planning that tour in your mind?
Man, you gotta, I think, be honest with yourself about how many people you can put in a venue. You know, like, I think a lot of times, you know, what happens is artists overshoot their value or don't really know their fan connection. You know, so, you know, the biggest thing that gets people in trouble is going viral because you're getting a lot of attention and a lot of likes, right? And if you look on social media all the time, what do you see? I just posted about this on X the other day, but there's always these people talking about growth. Hey, if you know, deal with us, we deal with, you know, IG, we can grow your audience 20% or we can do this. But they never talk about impact with growth. Right. So you can grow all day. You can run ads and connect with people all day through ads and passive connections. But if you don't have real connections that are adding value to people's lives, they're less likely to see you perform. They're even less likely to stream your song one time. If you can't get your song to be streamed once by somebody, you definitely can't put them in a show. Period. Not going to happen. Right. So I kind of have a little formula I use. So let's see if I can remember it. Let's say you got 5,000 PPI.
Right, drum roll.
Yeah. So I always kind of go by, all right, if you got 5,000 fans in Dallas, you know, you can probably bet on 10% of them potentially being willing to come to your show.
I had the same percentage in my mind.
Yeah. And then about half of that will come. So if it's 10% of 5,000, it's 500, you could probably get 250 people in the room. That's kind of been my number. And it always seems to work out the way I think it's going.
Let me ask you this. When you say 5,000 fans in Dallas, where are you getting the metric of the 5,000? Is this
YouTube,
Spotify,
Instagram? If you combine like
monthly listeners or
no, go to
subscribers?
Song Stats. Like Song Stats will show you like your actual total fan base collectively. There's a lot to do it now though. There's that
chart metrics
will do it. Song Stats is like a lighter version if you're just trying to really track like achievements and radio. And chart metrics is more of like an A&R tool. But at the end of the day, if you got 5,000 people there, you're probably ready to tour that city is what I'm saying. You know, if you're trying to go out on your own, but if you can't put, 100, 200 people in a room by yourself, then, we're in trouble. So, I always tell people, man, less is more. I think for the artists, it's about like the idea is exciting just to go out and hit all these cities and they start thinking like Chattanooga and, Des Moines and all these places. And it's like, nah, man, hit like Atlanta, hit the cities that you have a bigger follow. So in Christian rap, it tends to be Dallas, Houston, Atlanta,
Charlotte,
Orlando,
Chicago.
Charlotte, Chicago. Chicago's tough though.
Texas. What part of Texas? You
LA.
said Dallas.
Yeah, LA. Yeah. There's a few. Mm-hmm. You know, it used to be, and then also the old trick was wherever you had radio. Right. So if you got a station there, do there. I think Philly's got a decent base again. Mm-hmm. So, you know, but you want to make it make sense, you know. So I always say, like, hey, if it's your first tour, pick like 3 to 5 cities. Just do a quick tour. And do it in an area where you can get there by car or whatever. Right. So if it's Atlanta, Nashville, Charlotte, right, or Orlando, Atlanta, Dallas, and you have to fly to one. But you know, a lot of times they try to bridge the cities together and do smaller shows, and they end up being like nobody in the room. Yeah. You know, and that's a very, you know, I think for a lot of artists it's not exciting because in Christian you get the appearance fee, which is what it is, right? The church goes, hey, man, we just want you to come out. Yep. We got $5,000. Yep. Here you go. The church gives you the building, the sound, the food, the green room, the travel, plus the money. Right. You know, so you get really spoiled. And that feels a whole lot better than getting paid $500 to do a club. Right. But the difference in the first scenario is a lot of times the churches, I mean, you got an inbred audience because they're bringing people out who are really may not be your fans. They're inbred? Not I'm sorry, not intact. Not inbred, intact. Yeah, my bad. Not inbred. I can't let them get away with it. Edit that later. Intact audience, right? Maybe they are. Who come from? My bad. Who come from? Who you know, congregants from the church and whatnot. That their parents are like, you will go to said event. No, they're being like, right? It's built in. Yeah, it's built in. Yeah. In all fairness, we've been talking a lot today. Yeah, we have. So sorry about that. Yeah. But that's one of the little words that just flew through. Exactly. But in that scenario, I mean, they're not real fans. They don't know the songs. They don't. Like, so this is how you know. And rappers, this is for you, right? Like, man, listen to me when I tell you this. Please listen to me when I tell you this. You putting up a picture of a whole bunch of kids holding glow sticks on your Spotify page. Look at the audience. They're not even really looking at you. Don't put that up. It doesn't look good. Like, it's a bunch of kids just there and you rapping and they're not even engaged. You don't want those kind of pictures up because it doesn't show a connection with your audience. It looks weird. It looks good to you because you just see people and you. Right. But if you pan it on the people, that's what we look for. Yeah. It's like, are they really rocking with them? Oh, they're just kids. And that's what booking agents are looking for, and the tour managers, and everyone's looking for real audience connection. Yeah, I just think that sometimes we get caught up in the idea of people are in the room, so I'm winning. Yeah. And instead of, so I have this theory. You want to hear it? Yeah, please. All right, it's called the Jesus fan theory. So think about this. Since we're talking Christian rap, we got to discuss church, right? So when you go to church on Sunday, and let's say it's your 4th week going, you've been going to church 4 weeks, and finally you decide to plug in a little deeper. So you start thinking community group, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where you start to really dig in as a community group. Going to church is cool, but you're not really there, right? Connected in a deeper way. You know, how you doing, what's up? But the community group is where you actually get to know people, what's going on, get excited about serving. You know, that's kind of where that all starts. And so, the music's no different, right? Like when people connect with you through social media, at first they're just connecting through the idea that you love Jesus and I love Jesus, right? And so we're dope. Like, that's cool. We got that in common. Right. Now, the differences come when you start being yourself and they get to know more about you. Mm-hmm. Right. So, you don't even know how they look at the world. Like, it could be that they're like one of those really, really right wing type people, and all things that go with Christ also go with Trump and go with this and go with that. Right. And the second you say, I don't like our president, they're done with you. Right. So that's why that happens, is because their initial connection with you is very thin. It's a top layer connection, and that's all you have with that person. Right. And it's not quite enough for them to listen to you all the time. It's not quite enough for them to really go see you perform. Right. You have to do more. You have to connect on a deeper level. You have to super serve your audience. And I think at times with Christian rap, the artists are kind of spoiled because they don't have to go the extra step sometimes. Now, I'm not saying that you're not shooting content. I'm saying the content you're shooting, a lot of times the performance stuff and doing all that's cool, but it still doesn't let me know who you are. Right. I just know you perform and wear what you wear and hang where you hang and got your boys with you or whatever. But what are you doing and who are you? And this is where you sell the merch. This is where you sell the items, and where you kind of draw a line on who you are as a person. Right. And you have to do that to get the deeper connection. With that, though, you also lose people. Right. That's just part of it. Absolutely. And I think everyone's afraid of that. I don't know how many times I've seen in Christian rap where there's like 2 bad comments and that's all the person focuses on. And I get it because it's hard not to focus on the negative.
Right.
But have you seen a mainstream artist's comment page? It's crazy.
Is it?
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, like half the feed is trolling them. Like, like, so at the end of the day, we have a really dope fan base that loves us, but you got some people in there that are going to be disappointed.
Absolutely.
When you're not doing it like they want it done.
Right.
Right. So, but you just got to be okay with that, because the more that you give people a better view of who you are, the more you can do with that. Then people will want to come see you perform.
Yeah.
And they'll want to watch your shows. But I think that's a big disconnect in our culture. We have that is a problem that we need to conquer.
I do like to step down from the 5,000 to 10 and the 10 because I think that's reasonable. I also, though, back to the intact audience model
that might be inbred.
See, I'm not even going to say the word again because I had to slow down and make sure.
I'm sorry, man.
That's cool. I do think that it depends on the business model you want too, right? Because you may say, well, look, I'm purely evangelism focused, wanting to be used as a tool in the tool belt of youth pastors and pastors to bring the message in a different way in these audiences. So I'm okay with going and being the unknown, having unknown songs for the sake of bringing a culturally relevant form of the gospel message.
Yeah,
that could be your model, and you could be okay with that. You just need to have different expectations.
That's the thing. I think I hate when people say people are entitled, because I don't think a lot of artists are entitled.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just have an expectation.
Yeah.
This is how it works, and it's not working for me. You do have entitled people. That's just part of music and life in general, and in business everywhere.
Right.
But I think that music is harder. It's not clear how to get to the money in music sometimes.
Right.
You can't ROI the stream. There is no ROI for a stream, right? Like, you're going to at least pay 30 cents to get a stream. A stream is 0.002 cents at best, probably like
0.0. Yeah.
Yeah. So ROI done.
Right. Right.
So then what would make it worth it? Well, if you're connecting to them through merch sales, ticket sales, emails, connections, Discords, like, you need deeper ways to connect with them. So if you want to make money off this because you want to, get out and tour or do those things, you got to have a connection that's deep enough for people to do that. And that's where you get your street teams.
Yeah.
Look, Derek and Cannon have the Vigilante Discord, and they'll go in there and just talk to him. Now that thing has its own life.
Right.
Kind of like the Holy Culture Forum, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just takes on its own life.
Yes.
For better or worse.
Sorry. Did I say that out loud? Sorry.
No, but at the end of the day, like, that's the thing. Like, I think what people got to realize is you got to connect.
Absolutely.
And then if you don't want to do that, like, if performing's not your thing, if you don't want to have a close relationship with your fans, then you're more of an internet rapper, more of a songwriter.
Influencer type.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay too, but you just then take the touring thing out of it.
Right. And what you're pointing at is something I think that's so critical, is that there are multiple ways to do things, but part of the human condition sometimes is, the dread of comparison. And you can't compare yourself to someone else's success because you have no idea what it took to get them there. You've got to focus on your goals, your business model, and how you want to do it. So let's just say you're a recluse. You don't like leaving the house. You like playing a guitar. You like singing folk songs. Get in front of the camera and play the guitar and folk songs. But don't be mad that you're not packing out $100,000 person Coliseum. That's not what you're aligned against. You know what I'm saying?
And to do that is so much work. You know, like, to get your show to a level that can do that even. Like, the stuff though, when I watch those shows, like when you watch like a Sabrina Carpenter perform or any of them, like, they do this every single day.
Even Forrest Frank right now. When you look at some of the Forrest tour pictures, man, he's out. He's working.
Yeah, Dylan's working.
Dylan too.
Dylan went out before that. Yeah, like, man, and then
that's working.
It's hard, man. Yeah. Like, they come back, then they got to go back through their cycle again. They got to plan new records. They got to connect with their teams, and it's a lot of work, man.
What do you think from a touring perspective is something that's underrated and often overlooked by artists? What something they get the thing together, they get it going, but it's like this thing that commonly pops up as an underrated area. Sound
engineering is really rough. That always comes up.
Really?
Yeah. Live shows, sound and advancing sound is always a problem.
What do you mean advancing sound? Moving from city to city?
Well, that, or just even when you throw an event, like if we do a South by, about 80% of the work is advancing that show. And by advancing, that means getting their set, their tracks, how they're going to perform, connecting with the DJ,
set list,
get the engineers together. Because if when you start touring, most of the time you don't have the money to bring your own engineer,
right?
So you're just depending on house engineering, and it's going to be different every show. Yep.
I watched an episode once of I forget what it was, but she was the engineer for one of the a big rock group, and the details she went through during the tour to go from space to space, and her understanding of each space. Like she was talking about, they had just left this other one city, went to the second city, and she talked about the differences in the room, shape, dimensions, depth, right? And she's back there on the board, and bro, masterfully making sure that sounds the same no matter what space they went to each time. That level of detail, man. Who's going to do that for the new artists? Who's going to make sure they sound great on tour? What's your advice? You gotta spend time with the church's house guy or whoever is at the club.
If you're using a church, it's probably going to be rough.
Yeah,
the church isn't built for that. Most churches are not built for
acoustically.
They're built for more of a speaking and a choir.
Right.
They got decent sound, but when it comes like the hip hop stuff, they weren't built for that.
So do you tell artists when they're going on tour? Do you tell them avoid churches?
No, I mean,
yes, you do. Let's be honest, bro.
Well, I haven't
tell them.
Said it out loud.
You say do not. Yes,
I would.
Yes,
if they asked my opinion, I would tell them do venues, right?
Right.
But this is why, not because I don't want you to rap in the church, right? It's because once you go back in the church to do a show, you once again lean back in on that. Right,
which is a different model.
Different model. You want to go out, do venues, and build those relationships.
That's so important.
Yeah, That's so important. I think the other thing too is people give up too easy. Like one of the biggest problems in venues is the bar. So with our label, we're looking at trying to take what's going on with hip hop, inspirational, conscious, alt, and move it into a bar space.
Yeah.
So that adults can go, because I feel like what happens with Christian rap is you've got. And these are all theories. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm right. But I'm just saying, based on what I've experienced, you got like 4 years, right? Like, so let's say artists today, and the kids are at the church, and the ones that see him are freshman to senior.
Yeah.
Maybe some 8th graders, right? Maybe some 7th graders.
Yeah.
I bet. Maybe, just maybe, some college. Probably not, right? So that's what you got. So with the young kids, with that artist, that's where the time starts.
Yeah.
Right? So like, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, then they move on, right? And they go into the next thing. They go to college, get out of high school, they don't go to college, they go live their life, they hang out with new people.
Right.
The second you become old enough to get out of high school, with almost every high school kid I've ever met in my life, to include when I was in high school, the last thing you want to do is hang out with high schoolers. You're out of high school. You're done with that. You were only there because you had to be.
Right.
Your parents still had control.
You may have some friends, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, most people just move on.
Right.
Or just, they might hang with one or two people, but they move on. And the high school kids are stuck in high school. Well, that happens with music. So the music moves on with them. So then what's next? So that 4 years is over.
Right.
And the next cycle, you might have a couple of little gray area years in there, but it tails off because the new artists coming in lift up.
Yeah.
Unless you found a way to stay relevant.
Right.
Now, do you want to stay relevant to 7th graders?
Right.
Because you're getting older too. If you're 25 performing for that, and we're now at 30, do you really want to rap for, 12-year-olds?
Well, but the 7th graders are now 12th graders, so they go.
No, I'm talking about the next era in.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
No, they've moved on. Like they're older and they're out.
Right.
So they're not even there anymore.
Yeah.
The ones that came up with you, they're gone. They might come back to see you, but the younger kids are now dictating everything.
Yeah.
So what I mean is, naturally, the interest is going to get young again.
Right.
And you get older. Like, what these rappers don't realize is you get older too. Like, you become dated, but not to the people that was rocking with you from the beginning.
Right.
You're relevant to them. Right. So, like, you have to learn we have to figure out a way to keep them
and engage them.
Right. Yeah. So how do you do that? Well, they get older, they got girlfriends, husbands, whatever we're talking about here, whatever person.
Right.
Well, they want to go out, and I'll use Derek's joke, like, people want to go out, have a drink, have a good time, and not get shot.
Right. Right.
Well, when you go to the club, it's pretty risky. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so at the end of the day, like, what I'm saying is, if that's one world, then the next world should be, I'm gonna go out, hit these venues and everything else. And if you don't want to sell alcohol, then repurpose the bar.
Right.
and do like different kind of mocktails or something that people can buy, because it would still be the same price. It would probably cost the bar less.
Right.
So you just have to reinvent the show, and create a new experience for people to keep them going. But what happens is this is where things go wrong. Not to overtalk it, but it's a big deal. Where things go wrong is we get used to going to the church to get paid, and it happens for a couple years, so it feels good. And for some people, it goes longer than that. Yeah, right. Some people build long-term relationships with these churches, and they just keep bringing them back.
Well, and it's got to be appealing because it's lower risk too. So it's got to be risk. Right. It's no risk. I mean, it's got to feel great. You get a check.
It's not on you. You don't got to promote it.
Right. They cover the travel. They got the intact audience. Right. So
they don't know, and to be honest, they don't understand what's happening. They just want. What they really want is they want you to rap for the kids they have, so they have a different version of something they love. And they've been doing this since I was a kid. Yeah, I never forget, because they brought me before it was Cross Movement. It was Grape Tree, and I never forget. I'm from San Diego, so I grew up. When I was in high school, my senior year, Snoop and Dre were out. Right, like we were at the peak of West Coast hip hop at the time. So Far Side, Right. So they brought me this music. I never forget, the youth pastor was like, "Yo, you got to look at this, man. I think you'll like it." And I listened to it, and I was like, "What is this?"
Who was it? Was it Grape Tree?
Yeah, yeah. There was one record though. That was
Lil Rascal.
Yeah, they weren't like they were the music. The rapping was dope. Right. The music, the beats were just kind of
gotcha, because
the production. Back then there was a lot of limits.
Yeah, we struggled with some production.
Well, you had to have the money for it. Yeah, like making beats cost a lot.
Right.
You had an MPC was like $3,000.
Yeah, back then, absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying, man. Like I just think that, from the touring perspective, we got to look at how to maintain audience. If you can last long enough to get past 4 years, in that time, you should be building out your terrestrial audience and be able to do shows on your own. Yeah, you doing a show on your own will always feed you and your family. Waiting on a church to book you, eventually the interest dies out with the age, and you start running into problems on how to stay relevant.
Yeah, would it be smart then too if if a church brings you into Dallas, Texas? Is it smart then to you plan your own event a couple days out from that? I mean, because now you've already had the expense covered to get there. You're there in there. I mean, should you be trying to think of a drivable situation?
Yeah, I mean, you
from that
piggybacking the show is always a good idea. Yeah, or dropping in and doing a couple of podcasts somewhere. But once again, if you do that, you need a PR person involved, or you got to hit DMs and be working
it.
Yeah, try to figure it out. So. And then it depends on the event. They might have a radius clause, right, where they say, I mean, I'm sure Dallas would. They'd probably want 100 miles, which will leave you Houston, right, maybe
San Antonio,
yeah, definitely San Antonio, yeah, just far enough where, and that's a great hub. San Antonio is a great hub. Yeah, all three of those places. Ironically, Dallas has always been the tougher one, which is weird because Dallas actually is
many churches. It's so dense.
I know.
Churches.
I don't know why Dallas has always been the tougher nut to crack, but. Houston's always been a great landing spot for touring for us. We used to always really find great homes in Houston, Austin, because of my relationships there. Yeah. But yeah, as an artist, man, don't overdo it. Don't try to book 50 shows. Just book 5. Do it. Set small goals for the big goal. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then you can do it. You can win.
What does financial stability look like during a tour?
Man, not losing your butt the whole time. Like,
I've heard of some recent tours where that's been the case. Like it's, I don't know the numbers, but after the tour, I've heard the belly aching of said artists. Like, man, this was not financially good for us.
Yeah, no, it's you can lose money on touring really easy, and the way you can lose money on touring is bringing too many people, spending too much money. I think when we've lost money, it's because we got ahead of ourselves.
How so?
You try to live up to the image. So if it looks like you're doing this, then man, we gotta make sure we wrap the vehicle. We gotta we gotta get this. We gotta get the tour van. We gotta bring the sound. We gotta bring everybody with us. We gotta set up all this merch. And at the end of the day, merch costs money. Selling it costs money. Driving costs money. Vehicles cost money. Flights cost money. Whoever you bring with you costs money every day, right? If you bring a bus, you gotta bring a driver. You gotta house the driver.
Probably got a content person recording stuff.
Everyone has a content person. What's funny is every time we do a show now for R&B Forever for sure, we always have to give them like 3 or 4 VIP passes because it's gonna be the camera guy, the manager, director, or somebody.
Absolutely.
Like it's funny because that was never the case,
right.
But now it is part of the game. So, but. Everybody wants that. You want the content being shot and all that, So But I just think that you got to be, and then offer prices, right? So like, let's say, we kind of talked about this a little bit last time, but let's just say like you're an artist that can bring more than yourself. You've done enough where you have a live show that's really dope. You got a full band, you got a DJ, you got pyrometrics,
right?
The whole thing, right? Or pyro, I guess. I don't think it's called metrics, but anyway, whatever it's called, right? You got all of that, and for that to go, you got to spend $10K just to get there.
Yeah, yeah.
If your goal is I want to make $5K a show after expenses,
right,
then you got to charge 15, right? So it comes down to what do you want to make, and then you got to figure out what your show is. So sometimes when people want you to come out, they only want you to come out and rap. They don't care about all that.
Right.
And they only got $3,000 to give you. Don't pass on that.
Right.
Just be like, bet I'll bring a DJ and me. We'll
Go
do
slim.
It.
Yeah.
I'm going to come out and kick it. Like,
yeah.
But if you're caught up in the image and how you're supposed to be and what you think it's supposed to look like,
right.
And, next thing you know, you spent $2,800 just to do the show, and you walk home with $200.
Yeah, it takes me back to a bad memory, man. Like back in the day before I was doing Christian hip hop, man, we had this song with a group. I'm like you. Let me see. Can I tell a story? Nobody kind of think who it is. Okay, yeah, I can tell it. So had the record out, and this was a time when you were still pressing wax.
Yeah.
Okay, so man, got the club. All the clubs in the city had it. Man, it seemed like it was doing okay. At the time, you remember the Tough Crew? No. Okay, so Tough Crew was big in Philly. He had a song, "My Part of Town." Girl. It was, big. And so got this opportunity, man, to do this event at this club that was really well respected, man. The brother who was the lead MC, bro, his whole rider changed because of this one event. Bro, he was calling management like, "Where's my car? What car is picking me up?" It's like, bro, we going downtown. Like it's still in Philly. There's no car. What's my security detail looking like? Who's checking for you, bro?
Right.
Like he had all these. What's my green room look like? Your green room? You have a single. Like there's nothing. Like I just say it to say like overnight his expectations or his sense of who he was and what he demanded to be at this event changed, bro. And it was so disheartening because it set off a series of things where he kind of got put out. Like no one wanted to deal with him after that. It was like, what? Because, circles are tight in terms of who knows
That's
each other.
That's such a letdown for when you see that happening.
Yeah.
Like I think when you're younger, it's like offensive and it angers you a little bit for different reasons. But as you get older, it's like, man, I hate to see that because you never know what the possibilities were for that guy.
I think there were a lot of possibilities. Yeah. Now, in fairness, he had been in the space for a minute, but just had never popped off. So now this one song was starting to get momentum, but and it was like everything that he probably always dreamed about. Yeah. He wanted it now. This I'm getting it. This is my moment. And everyone else said,
"Was crazy."
No.
He probably got where he got because of that hunger.
Yeah,
but the hunger doesn't work all the time, right?
When hunger translates into unjust demands.
Right,
you have a problem.
Now that was definitely entitlement.
Yeah.
Like I get it though, man. Like I just, man, the most mind blowing thing about running a company is just understanding that people see success in different ways.
True.
And I assumed mistakenly early on that we see it the same. Not realizing like, man, like no, some people see it totally different.
Absolutely.
And that's why there's conflict sometimes because it's like, what I see is based on my experience, what you see is based on your experience.
Right.
And, one of us might be right, one of us might not be right, whatever, or we might both be right or both wrong. Yep. But at the end of the day, like it's kind of the weird curse that you have growing up. Like when you're young, you got the energy to make mistakes and correct them. And none of us want to listen to anyone that's older than us. We always think we know everything. You don't know what you're talking about.
Indeed.
And I'm as guilty of that as anybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was the most rebellious. Every time even in the Army, I was rebellious.
Yeah.
I found ways around everything. If I didn't want to do something, I found a way around it, right?
Yeah.
Like I was always willing to break a system.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this, in music, you're not going to break it.
Yeah.
You'll go broke trying to break it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a way to play the game and there's a way not to play the game.
Yeah.
And there are so many avenues that can take you down the wrong path. And I hate it sometimes because I see artists take some of those roads because they feel like that's what they're supposed to do and someone told them that, and they just go down this weird rabbit hole, of decision making,
or looking for shortcuts.
Yeah, a lot of shortcuts, and I get it, but
hack the system.
Yeah, the problem is in reality in music, if you skip this to this, and now you're here, a whole lot happened here that you were supposed to be a part of.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of things you were supposed to learn right here, and you may have skipped all that and passed people up, but these people are going to make more money and own more than you because they did not skip those steps.
Right.
And some of them couldn't skip those steps.
Right.
And that's not to say that you're wrong for doing that. It's just you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
You know, in anything in life, if you skip by anything, there's always going to be a certain level of information you missed out on that people are going to be like, how do you not notice?
That's right.
And you're going to want to blame someone. I didn't know I was supposed to register that.
Hey, man. I believe in the 10,000 hour rule, bro.
Yeah, you got to get your hands dirty.
In the 10,000 hours. You got to spend time in it to really get to a point of proficiency and really understanding. And you never stop learning.
No.
I mean, you never stop learning.
And the hardest part about it is when you see someone skip and they're not paying that penalty yet.
Right.
So it feels unjustified and you're still going through the process.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you right now, there has been times that Derek and I have been in business together that we have not liked our situation, right? We've been like, damn, you know, sorry, I probably shouldn't say that, but dang, edit it out, sorry. but then later on down the road, you know, we learned, man, that was actually good that didn't happen because we were not ready for that.
Right.
That would have been a problem.
Right.
You know, and I think God has always kept us where we are because we're learning how to do it right.
Yeah. And
we're doing it in a way that's fair. And if anything, we probably hurt ourselves more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Because we've been too giving.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I think when you look at it like that, take it from me. You want to go through the steps because it's so much better to know what you know. In music, there's always evolving going on. And every time there's new money that shows up, like Sirius, right? Every time new stuff shows up, new opportunities come in, there's always somebody there that already knows about it.
Yep.
Has already made money on it. Knows how to not let you make money on it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So that's always there. So you're learning, but it's owed to somebody else. And so that's why it's important that you go through it all.
That's good.
You know,
how have you seen, you know, you've seen a lot of events and tours and whatnot, like, you know, shifting from your business side for a second to your ministry side. How have you seen like powerful ministry showing up, man, in live events?
Man, the moment you connect with the fan, and I don't even like calling them that. I like calling them supporters because
same here.
Fan just feels like degrading to me sometimes. You know, I guess ever since Stan by Eminem. I've always seen it different. But no, really, for real though, like I've seen some really high impact moments where they've come out and they've shared stuff they're going through. And they talk to like Cannon, for instance, and just emptied out and or listened to, like, he had a song called Take It All the Way We Did when he got hurt and he came back from it. It's one of his songs. And the song is, man, the first time I heard it, I cried. The song is so powerful because he's just really talking about all his frustrations and the Lord just taking it. And I watched people crying and I've seen some pretty high impact moments at some Reach shows for sure. You know, but it's very spiritual. So you see people really, you know, connect on that level with the artist because it's they created that song and people really feel like God made that song for them. Yeah. You know, and I believe that, you know, I also believe there's been things that have been said and done and conversations that have happened with the artists in person that have really impacted people on a higher level. I also have seen it go the other way where some artists have hurt people that have come to see them, you know. But no, I mean, I think the person-to-person experience, but also the other way, the artist gets a chance to see how they're impacting people. Yeah. And it changes everything. Once you see someone come up to you and say, man, I was like gonna kill myself. Like I remember a dude told Cannon this one time. I was thinking of killing myself, and I would listen to your music to help fight through those emotions. Gotcha. And that's heavy. That's heavy. You know, that's really heavy. And all you can do is take them at their word. You know, like, but whatever it was, they were really depressed. You know, down, going through what they were going through. Yeah. Yeah, I just think music's powerful, and it does impact. You know, it takes people down. I don't think music can save. Like, I don't think it's going to save you, but I think it's going to put an idea in your head to take you down a path to help you heal. And it could lead you to being saved. Yeah, it could lead you to a place of surrender. Yeah, you know, like a lot of times back in the day when they would teach us, you know, discipling school, they would talk about, you know, out of court ministry, inner court, and holy of holies. Right? Music can usher you through those phases. Yeah, you know what I mean? Only Jesus saves. But music can play. I remember once, man, being on a plane, just like when you think about when songs met you at the right moment, you know what I mean? Like I was on a plane, I think from Dallas to Philly, and I was just
broke, man. I was having a hard time at work, and it was the first time I heard Norah Jones, Don't Know Why I Didn't Come. Man, I was just sitting there in that exit row seat, bro, in the corner, like just kind of bawling, but not bawling. You know how you just like trying to hold it to yourself?
Yeah, you feeling it.
But it just hit me.
Man
why
tears.
it didn't come. Yeah, man tears.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, man. It just rocked me at that moment. It was just the right song at the right moment.
And I've had non hip hop songs like help me a lot.
That's what I mean. This is, I don't know if you know Norah Jones, but it's a nice, melody song, man. And it's,
the way I said it sounded like I was inferring, but no, I was agreeing. Like, I've had some songs in my life, but I believe that God puts music in our life to help us.
Yeah,
just like the enemy can lure us with music, right? Like, there's been songs that by artists that you would never think that would ever change someone's life for the positive, change mine. There's songs by Pac, songs by Kendrick, songs by DMX.
Yeah.
There's so many artists that have impacted me over the years that they've written certain songs, and it just things they're saying help me feel like, okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I'm not tripping.
Yeah.
Other people, like, I'll be honest, man, like, I love Kendrick's music because it's so open.
Mm-hmm.
As a Christian, that's kind of what comes with our faith, is we open up. So I see that in him.
Yeah.
And I hear what he's talking about, and I hear the pain, I hear the struggle, I hear the triumph. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
To me, that's hip hop. That's what it is. Like,
it is.
The other stuff, I guess, is too. I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying, like, when it really comes from a place that you can relate to or see inside.
Self-reflection and introspection.
Yeah.
And,
it isn't like, no, did I grow up in Compton? Nope.
Yeah.
But are there things that he's dealing with that I can relate to as a man? Yes.
Right. I mean, and it's so funny, man, because I would never have expected to say this, and I'm not throwing any shade. I just wouldn't. I'm looking forward to Will Smith's new stuff because I watched the interview he just did, right? And he's talking about, real grown folks' problem. And he said this one quote was so interesting to me. He said, a lot of times we talk about when we're at the bottom of the bottom, we hit rock bottom. He said, but there's another thing called the upside cliff, where you've made so much success and done so much stuff, you can, without knowing it, fall off that cliff.
Yeah.
He said, I'm dealing with that, right? Like, how many more movies do I need?
Yeah, well, you come into you become unaware.
Right.
Like the whole Katy Perry thing with the being up in space and, have you been to space? And it's like, have you?
Right.
You got really close.
Right. So I'm kind of looking forward to it because he's like, I have so much in me to unpack that I've been wrestling with, and so.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I lost a lot of respect for him when he slapped Chris Brown.
The slap thing is real.
Yeah. So it's been hard for me to take him serious since then, but I get
he has a street named after him in Philly now, right?
Yeah, does he?
Yeah, they did it about, I think it was earlier this year.
I'll tell you this, though. I'll be honest. Like, I think Fresh Prince, Run DMC, and Beastie Boys were like the first real albums that I bought as a kid.
Yeah.
And Beastie Boys and Run DMC
the one with the
were
plane
on
the front?
Yeah. And Fresh Prince was like him and Jazzy Jeff on the front. And then Run DMC was, the Raising Hell one, the green tape.
Oh my gosh, yes, Raising Hell,
classic,
classics
on my Adidas,
classics.
You Be Illin', Rock the Bells?
Yep, all that.
Yeah, they were on tour with it was them, Hammer, Beastie Boys, Scott LaRock, and
it's yours.
Yeah, I think what was the girls that did Supersonic?
Oh yeah, Supersonic.
Oh no, it was Salt and Pepper, not them.
Oh okay.
Yeah, I think they might have been openers though. One of the shows.
Supersonic. What was the name of that group? I can't remember the name of the group. That's all right.
I don't know, but I remember when it was on the radio.
Yeah.
This is how bad it was, guys. Like, so you know how hard it is now for Christian rap,
right?
But hip hop went through this too.
Absolutely.
And all the stations were just pop stations,
right?
Pop rhythmic,
right?
And they started playing rap a little bit, and you could tell they didn't want to play,
but only certain rap,
right?
Tone Loc.
Very commercial. Very commercial.
Right, remember Young MC? I mean, it was,
Don't just stand there, bust a move.
It's like, play Public Enemy. It's like, they're not playing Public Enemy, bro. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, there was really no songs they could play, right?
Right.
Like, so that mean there was, 911, that one was.
Yeah, I'm like, play Don't Believe the Hype. Play, you know what I mean? Terminator X. You know, play, so, we've lived through a lot.
Yeah, I love Public Enemy when they came out. But Fear of a Black Planet was a great album.
Absolutely.
But now they, like, back in the day, they used to, like, not play hip-hop. Or if they did, you could tell they didn't want to.
Right.
And I'll never forget it. They had the song was called Supersonic. Those big, everlasting names, Supersonic. And they literally read the lyrics out loud on the air, and they were dying laughing while they were doing it, right? I'll never forget it. Because it was like a nighttime show, and it was just a couple of
JJ
dudes.
Fad.
JJ
Fad.
Well, yep. And they were actually pretty big.
Yeah, JJ
They had
Fad.
a couple albums.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny because they were disrespecting it so heavy.
Yeah.
You know, and you could just tell that as I got into radio, I understood it later, but radio is very political.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like tripping on it because I'm like, dang, man, they were actually clowning it.
They were. All right, y'all. Well, listen, this has been another episode of Doc and Trig, the Inside View. Man, if you got questions you want us to answer on an upcoming episode, hit me on the hotline of, let's just do that, trig@holyculture.net, and we'll be sure to work it in. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, keep watching, tell someone else about it. Until next time, lessons, family.